something. To imagine that you were to see Jesus next week. What would he look like, and where do you think you might see Jesus?
In church.
In church? Beard and sandals? And what do you think he would look like?
Wear a big robe.
Maybe wear a big robe. Any other places that you might see Jesus beside church? Where? At school? Uh-huh. Any place else? You might see him at your dance class. I like that. That's good. Well, today we hear a story about Jesus appearing in a wonderful and new way. And this is a story that happened 6 days after Simon Peter realized who Jesus was. And so Jesus invited to go up a mountain with him. Can you hold this up? Repeat that. Okay. He invited Simon Peter to go up the mountain. Do you want to hold this? And then he invited John to go up the mountain, and James. They were brothers. They were fishermen. So y'all come up the mountain with Jesus. Okay? Y'all come on up here to the mountain. And a most amazing thing happened because Jesus changed. And his face and his body and his clothes all became dazzling white. It was really powerful. And in addition to that, there were 2 men from long ago, Moses and Elijah, who were on that mountain as well. And they lived a long time ago, and Moses was like the main person for the law, and Elijah was a prophet. And then, where's Simon Peter? Simon Peter said, "Can we build you some tents or a booth?" Because they wanted to keep the experience, this mountaintop experience. And then what happened is that there was a cloud, a bright cloud came overhead, and there was a voice.
"This is my son, whom I is beloved. Please listen to him."
It was God's voice proclaiming that Jesus was his son. It was holiness coming through the humanity of Jesus. And then the disciples, they were so frightened that they laid down on the ground. They were really scared. And Jesus, where's Jesus? Jesus, here it is. And Jesus came up to each of the disciples and touched them and said, "Get up and don't be afraid." You can get Peter up. And the people from the Old Testament, Moses and Elijah, they disappeared. And Jesus was back to his normal way. And then they all went down the mountain together. So why do you think that Jesus took his disciples, these 3, up the mountain? Do you have any ideas? Or what this was about? What do you think?
So they could see the people that lived a long time ago?
Yep. And so they would realize also that Jesus was God's son. And so they saw Jesus in all his glory. So would you hold your hands together and let's say a little closing prayer. Dear Jesus, we give you thanks for living amongst us. We give you thanks, dear God, for changing Jesus in a wonderful way. Help us this week to see your glory manifest in other people. Help us to find you in church, in schools, and even in our dance class. Dear Jesus, we love you and we give you thanks. Amen. Amen. Okay, very good. Thank you. Does anybody want to take these and play them? Retell the story? And maybe you can retell the story in your own